Welcome to the dish. Well, this month we've got some interesting facts about dog bites because as summer rolls into play, a lot of people have their dogs outside, their kids outside, people are riding by on bikes, dogs jump fences, gates get left open, and dog interaction happens. Now, the statistics actually show that 80% of dog bites happen in the home, and 77% of the perpetrators are either people's own dogs or dogs that are visiting the home and are known commodities. So it's an interesting thought that stray dogs come in and bite people, or that mailmen are the biggest victims. Actually, children are the biggest victims in the home with a known dog. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what you need to do in your own home to protect your kids, how you need to act around dogs, and what you also can do if a dog is coming up that's unknown, that's approaching you. So it's dog bite safety time at the Nebraska Humane Society, and we've got all sorts of information for you. Stay tuned.
All right. Scared dogs are something we need to be afraid of, need to be concerned about, not afraid of, but concerned about. Luke? He's turning his body away from everything else in front of him so he doesn't have to deal with it. When dogs do this, we need to be respectful of that and not force them to, but let them know that things are a positive. You know, just toss a treat on the floor. Go slow. If you don't have to force an issue, don't force it. Let them in their own time figure out how to do this. Oh, thank you. And then they kind of figure out, oh, well, I guess it's not so bad. Can you sit? Too scary? Oh, nice boy. Okay, and if you look, I don't know if you can see his forehead, but his forehead is very wrinkled. Okay, he's not very relaxed. He's very concerned about what's going on. He's handling it, but we want to be a little bit careful. We want to always be careful in situations with dogs who are afraid of what all is going on. Noises, sights, sounds, fast movements, small children, people walking up to them. Come here, Pam. You know, people coming up straight on at them is very intimidating. But if someone turns themselves a little sideways to the dog, keeps their arm close to their body, don't put your hands out, keep your hands close to your body. And they're more loose and wiggly themselves. He sniffs and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to walk away from you though, because I don't know you. However, with a treat involved, Luke, might make a big difference. So this time come with a treat. Oh, he says, I see a treat coming. They learn that this hand motion is, oh, there might be something in there.
And I treated him before too.
Exactly. And now he's like, okay, I think I'll keep watching her. She had some good stuff. So it entices him. It helps him realize, okay, I don't have to be afraid. It's a better thing to think about how do I get a cookie than how do I panic. And that's one of the things we need to be careful of. Young children don't understand. Some adults don't understand. Going up and staring or rushing in is very confrontational to a dog. If we can use our peripheral vision, you know, look at the ground, stay sideways to them, keep our hands close to our body, it's much less threatening to them and they're more apt to show up and warm up a little bit and be a bit more comfortable with things. Oh, and then he hears another noise and now he's going to get a little worried again. You got more wrinkles back, dude. He's like, okay, I'll hang with you. It's the job of the owners to be that dog's support, have their back. Don't just throw them under the bus, throw them into a situation that they're afraid of, and then leave them. That's scary. But if you show them it's okay, I got it, we're not going to worry about it, it's a big deal. Teach children that they stay sideways, not staring, not necessarily getting down real low. That puts, especially with a big dog, that's going to put the child's face very close. But just staying calm. Not moving with big, fast movements and running off. The dog gets a chase instinct, kicks in, or they're just going to come out and get you because they should probably get the thing that's running. Little things like that are going to make a big difference with a dog. Slow and easy is the best way to do it. If you have to rush through something, there's a tornado coming and your dog doesn't like to go down the basement. Yes, grab and go. But otherwise, take your time. Make things a positive. The dog will respond much, much better. He's still turning his back to the camera a bit, but he's more sideways, and he's willing to stay here closer to me. Ooh, that's a good fun trick. Thank you, good boy. As they get better, you can drop the value of your treat. We're using pretty high value stuff right now. Yay. That one good? Oh, that one's good. And that's not as high value. That's just a little bit of kibble, which is okay. He's getting a little bit more comfortable, so we want to do that. Okay, so this is Smitty, and Smitty is what we call a rowdy red dog. He has tons of energy. I mean tons of energy. He's also scary smart and likes to work, likes to learn, but he's got some herding dog in him. So having him with children could get a little tricky. He may try to herd them and get them back in place, and lots of times they herd by nipping. So that never works out really well. But with summer coming, kids maybe are going to be home. We need to be careful. Kids are kids and dogs are dogs. If it's impossible to watch the dog, the kids are first. But give the dog something good in their kennel, okay? They get something good to do. The other thing is teach the dog how to behave so that this kind of thing, good timing, doesn't happen. Because when they do this to a smaller child, they're going to get pushy because they see these kids as litter mates. Oh, thank you. Nice. So you're going to have to do some serious training with them so the dog understands I can't do that. The kids need to, a class is a great way to do that. The kids need to come to class as well. So we can practice that and they go, oh, okay. Now, Smitty's also a dog who's going to figure out, oh, if I jump and then I sit, I get a cookie. And we don't want that to happen. There you go, nice job. So we're going to back up and we're going to move around a little bit so Smitty doesn't have to do that. Are you going to stay with me? Oh, this is fun. But kids like to wrestle and play, so they're going to be doing this kind of thing, and the dog's going to go, oh, I want to play too. You can see, all I did was stomp my feet. It didn't take much to get him excited. Did it? Boom.
I can approach you in a bad manner if you'd like.
Go for it. Come on, Pam.
Hi! Oh my gosh!
I didn't look. You know, he's young. He's going to use his mouth because that's how dogs do that. But that was pretty good recovery. But if you've got kids home and no adult supervision, or they're, you know, it's teenagers babysitting, that's asking a lot to have a rowdy red dog who is going to want to play all day and think, oh boy, these guys are here. Thank you. Down. Sit. Nice. Okay? So it's a big deal. Rowdy red dogs, they're great fun because they want to be with the family, they want to do all kinds of stuff. But this is also what they want to do. Sit. That was his mouth involved. Now I have good treats right in my hand too. Thank you, that's much better. And the other thing we need to think about is the leash. Leashes are great things. No, I don't want shake. People can step on them like I've been doing. It gives you a bit of a control factor, but he also likes to chew on his leash. So what do? And he's ready to go. And they do this all day. So think about that with rowdy red dogs, young dogs that get just active, and your kids home, or before you adopt a dog that's this active, are you willing to work this dog and walk this dog and play with this dog and put up with this stuff while they outgrow it? Look it. Sit. Come over here. Right here. Look. Thanks. Now clean the floor. Because sometimes they won't settle down this quickly either. Rowdy red dogs are fun, but they're a lot of work.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe, but right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
As we've mentioned, it's dog bite safety awareness time, and nobody better to talk about dog bite safety awareness than an animal control officer who sees firsthand in the field what happens when kids and dogs and other folks mix and it doesn't end well. So joining me is Misty Bino. She is one of our field cruelty investigators for the Nebraska Humane Society, but you do a lot of other stuff as well. And one of the things that you deal with is the dog bite calls. Talk to me a little bit about maybe what you see in the field, and then I know that we have a program that we actually deal with dog bite prevention.
Yeah, so we get lots of calls for animal bites all throughout the summertime, especially around the holidays when there's a lot of visitors and scary things are going on for those dogs in the house that they're usually not used to. So some of the bites that we get are anytime hospitals, doctor's offices, schools, anytime a bite is reported, whether it's a child or an adult, we always need to do follow-up to make sure that rabies doesn't break out to the human population. So we do rabies control is a big part of what we do in the animal control. So with that, the most important thing, of course, is verifying a rabies shot, make sure that the animal is current and that all the humans stay safe. So a couple of things that we do, of course, is required by law that all animals, dogs and cats, be vaccinated against rabies. And that can be one of the most important things when it comes down to whether or not certain procedures have to be handled. So if your animal has a rabies shot, not only does it protect the humans, but it also protects them and saves you a lot of time and money if it came down to where you had to go to court if you didn't have a rabies vaccination. So it's really important to get that pretty affordable rabies vaccination because that's the one that's required by law. But to prevent some of the bites that we see, a lot of them involve kids when dogs get uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And so we do the program, it's called Be a Tree, and we go out to schools in the area and we talk to kids about what to look for. So we've brought some different pictures, and those are sometimes when even if it's your own dog, they get really uncomfortable. Could be that there's visitors in the home or they're really stressed out. So if you see your dog yawning or trying to get away, it could be parents watching the kids and the dog's kind of trying to get away, give them some alone time and put them in a separate bedroom.
So you need to be able to read your own dog because as we've mentioned earlier in the program, the number one victim of dog bites are kids, and the number one place that it happens is in the home. So it's a lot of times it's your own dog or it's a visiting dog. And I think that people may think, oh, I know my dog, or the kid's like, I've been around this dog, and all of a sudden does something different and the dog doesn't get it. And it's like, whoa, I'm uncomfortable. And you need to be able to read that whoa, right?
Yeah. So we have a lot of specialists, that will talk about the different types of things to watch out for. But main thing is if you know your dog well enough, make sure and watch those signs. Does he look uncomfortable? Make sure that nobody's hugging him, even if it's been a visitor that's come in the past, but maybe it's not someone that, that comes every day. No kissing them on the face, no hugging them around the neck, reintroducing them slowly just to make sure. And then also keep in mind of the environment that's outside. If it's the weeks before 4th of July, if it's the weeks before Memorial Day or Labor Day or any of those times where there's a lot of activities going on. Could be fireworks. It could be storms if it's a really stormy day. It could be that there's, anything that might frighten your dog. Maybe there's a block party going on next door or a few blocks away. They can smell all those smells and they know what's going on. Even if we don't see it, they have a good intuition. And sometimes that will throw them off a little bit. They just might be a little confused as to what's going on.
So know the environment, make sure that there's nothing that's too scary happening, and then proctor kids, right, when they're around dogs, even if it's your own dog.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, always watch, always supervise small children with dogs, just because they haven't learned dog behavior yet. So they may think that if he's licking his lips, he's really hungry, but if he's licking his lips, it's a sign of being nervous, And little kids don't know that. They learn that as they grow up, but they may not know, and that could be the quick second between a snap happening. So real quickly, like I said, just give your dog some alone time, let them relax, they'll enjoy it.
So what if you are, and we always talk to kids about greeting dogs and the appropriate way to greet dogs. So when kids here are always taught, ask, but what should they be doing if greeting animals that are unfamiliar?
Yeah, so if they're going to greet the dog for the first time, they've never met them. First, of course, always ask the owner. Never greet a dog without permission first, because some dogs are scared or they might not like the color blue. And then, it could be the silliest thing, but always ask the owner first. So as long as the owner says okay, and then look at the dog's behavior, and we'll show some pictures of when it's, when it's the appropriate time and maybe not, of when it's okay. And so now that you've asked the owner and you ask the dog and all the signs are in line, then you will use a loose closed fist. Okay. No fist bumping, just a closed loose fist. Let him sniff your hand. And if he does, if he sniffs it and maybe licks your hand, don't go straight for the face. Stay away from the face, scratch areas like the neck. That's the best way to avoid a bite. And then we'll talk about if you don't know the dog, if you see a loose dog,
absolutely,
do not approach it. Whether or not it seems friendly or not, you never know. Loose dogs, they're scared, they're away from home, they're lost. Call animal control and let them know about the loose dog. If the dog is coming up to attack you, if we teach in the Be a Tree, if the dog's coming up, it's scared, it's barking, growling, anything like that, don't get scared, don't get run away. Just relax, look down at the ground, don't make eye contact with the animal, put your hands folded just real loosely and look down at the ground and be a tree.
Stay still.
Yep, be a tree, stand still, not this tree. Don't be that tree,
Not waving in the wind.
Yeah.
You want to be a still tree.
Yep,
Yes.
so be a still tree, make yourself as boring as possible. That animal will get bored. He may lift a leg on you. No, he won't. He will go away. So if you just be real calm, quiet, don't move, don't yell, don't make any noise, just look down, be still, and then as soon as that dog is out of your eyesight or your peripheral vision, then go tell someone right away, call animal control, let them know there was an aggressive dog outside.
So the big thing is, and I think we've talked about this before too, is that if you start to run, lots of dogs want to chase you, right?
Yes.
It's really hard. You see this dog and you're like, oh, I need to get away from it, but you really need to just stand still.
Yes.
And you'll be boring, and then he'll be like, oh, well, there's nothing here, and move on.
Yep, if you run, they're going to chase because it's either fun play or it's just an adrenaline rush. Now, if a dog does come up and they are barking aggressively or immediately begin to attack you, we say be a rock. So you'll go down on the ground, cover your vital organs, put your arms around your body, your hands around the back of your head and ears, cover your face, turn yourself into a little tiny rock. That way they can't get to any of the important, valuable things that we need for life. So make yourself a rock, crawl into a tiny ball. Don't yell, scream, anything like that, because it can intensify, an aggressive dog. So just make sure that you protect everything, and as soon as that dog goes away and is out of your view, like I said, then get to safety right away.
So kiddos, and even adults, be a tree or be a rock if you're under attack. If you're going up to a dog, ask permission to pet. And if you're a pet owner, get a rabies shot for your animal. I know that if you have a rabies shot for your animal, then it's a lot easier on you because you can do some home quarantining and the person who has been bitten won't necessarily have to undergo rabies shots, whereas if it's an unknown dog or bites and runs away, sometimes those are the instances where people actually have to do the rabies, right?
Yeah, it's a huge difference whether an animal has a rabies vaccination or not. If they have a rabies vaccination and they've bit one of their family members, they can just sign a waiver that says they don't want anything done, and we are out of there, so we're not bothering anybody. But if the animal does not have a rabies vaccination, it may have to go under quarantine at a vet or at the Humane Society, depending on how much they want to pay, and that's for 10 days from the day the bite occurred. So if you think about the amount of money that's going to cost somebody to have their dog in boarding for 10 days, and then if they didn't have a rabies vaccination, they face getting a citation on top of that. So then that's either, pay a fine or go to court. And all of that, several hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars could have been saved if they had just gotten their $25 rabies vaccination.
Absolutely. And that is required by law, and it's required by the health department for us to quarantine as well. So those are things that kick in and we don't have a lot of control over. Yeah, well, we'd love to let you slide, but we can't because it's a health department dictate.
Yeah, and we hear this a lot, is that my animal would never get rabies. It's my indoor cat. It never goes outside. It's not going to come in contact with rabies. Well, one of the #1 carriers of rabies are bats, and not all bats have rabies. It's less than 1%, but bats are one of those teeny tiny creatures that can get into your house and you not know about
Little
it.
kitty plays with
Yeah,
it.
we get over almost 100 calls on bats, during the season, the bat season, almost every day. So with bats inside of houses. So you never know when your animal, it could be your dog going outside, comes in contact with a skunk or raccoon or bat, and you not know, especially a bat, they're so little.
Right.
It could be on the tree or in the grass. It's not real uncommon. And then they could potentially get rabies if they play with the mouths, if they are chewing on it or playing with it, and then you might not even know about it. Or same thing with the animal that's inside. Maybe there was a bat in the house and your cat eats it before morning, you might not even know about it. So it's so important to have that rabies shot.
Absolutely. The likelihood is slim, and yet it exists. And because rabies is fatal for people, we have to make sure that we follow the law and the health department dictates. So, rabies shot for your animal, keep him safe, keep everybody else safe. Dog attack, be a tree, be a rock, and everybody will be safe.
Yep.
Misty, thanks so much for talking about this, talking to us about this. I know that it's something that you guys deal with all the time, and so it's great to have that information. And we're going to come back in just a moment.
I couldn't remember what it meant to fetch, or to shake, or even to run. All I could do was lie down, held captive by my own matted fur, neglected, broken. Incredible people removed the filth and repaired my crippled body. They helped me look and feel and trust like a dog again. I remember someone whispering, "We'll make it better." And after years of abuse, love did just that.
This is 3-year-old Duchess. Duchess, oh my goodness, what are we doing? Are we scratching? Are we scratching our back? Duchess is a 3-year-old German Shepherd. Oh, now we've done it. Now you've harnessed yourself. She's a little anxious in the shelter. She really, once she gets to know you though, this is what she does. She's all about getting love and hanging out with you. But in the shelter, she's a little worried. It's loud and it's scary here. So these guys are super sensitive. And so I think that she probably is just kind of, what's happening? However, they said once she gets to know you, she meets you kind of shyly and nervously, but once she gets to know you, she's all about this. Wants to be right up next to you, being with you, hanging out, being with her people. We have her as no small children, no kids under 6, probably because they would startle her. If you run up to her, arms and legs flailing, I think that she might be a little worried. So instead, I know, oh thank you, I understand. I know you want to soothe everybody and get calmer, don't you? She'd be a great addition to a family that has older kids that know how to approach her appropriately. She would probably love a backyard to go sniff around in. And if you have another dog, it needs to be a calm dog that will be very comfortable with her and help calm her down instead of amp her up. But she's 3 years old. She's a lovely girl. Will you take a treat now? Yeah, it's a little scary. We left one on the floor earlier because we were so worried. But she's doing well right now, and I think you just need to go really slowly with her and approach her gently and know that she's very sensitive until she gets to know you. And then she'll probably be a Velcro dog and right by your side. Right, Dutch? And that is lovely, Duchess. So this is Ellie. She is a young mixed breed, pity mix, boxer mix. And she is actually a ton of fun. She loves to play with toys. She's very smart, so she will do training very well. Ellie, sit. Thank you, nice. Sit. Sit. sit, but she's so exuberant that it's 4 on the floor for a second and then she's off and running. So a training class would be really good for this dog. She probably should go to older children. We have her as no kids under 6, and she should probably, I know, you're gonna knock little kids over, aren't you, you crazy girl? But she's a ton of fun. She also needs to meet the resident dogs because she has a little bit of a worrisome issue with other dogs. So she can inappropriately greet just like she does with people. Hey, Elle, sit back down, please. Come here. I have the treat pocket, so that's what we're doing here is getting treats. Come here, baby. I know. She's very, very nice. She's eager to please, but she just gets so overwhelmed with herself that I think that she needs a little bit of discipline, and maybe someone who will take her to training classes and work with her, someone who will play with her outside. So a high activity level. Older kids would be great for her, but again, she needs to learn self-control so that she doesn't whack into somebody and knock them over, right? You're doing really good now. Oh my gosh. But this is what she loves. Craves attention right here. Okay, now that we're not so crazy, I know you're just a sweetie. So this girl is going to be a fabulous dog for someone. She's very eager to please. She loves people. Just needs to learn a little self-control. She's a youngster. So a training class for the lovely Ellie. Probably older kids just so that until she learns self-control, she doesn't balk them down on the ground and then end up, you know, kissing them and having them screaming and running for her mom. Ellie girl. A ton of fun though. This little girl will be a lot of fun for some family. You just need to be able to harness all that energy, put it toward good, and then enjoy this right here. All the loving and all the rubbing and buffing, right? And that is the lovely young Ellie. Good job, baby.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe, but right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
Thanks for joining us for The Dish. We'll have a new show once every 2 weeks that'll bring you more training tips and pet health tips, information about events that are going on at the shelter, and things that you as a pet owner can use. So for now, goodbye, but thanks for joining us and have a great week.